Star of stage, screen, and radar, John, I asked my wife to do a doggy style, Bethell!
Thanks a lot, Joe. Great job. Wow, I'm a lot more nervous than I thought I'd be. And like an idiot, I chose tonight of all nights to start combing my hair a new way. I thought it'd be cool to part it in the middle like I did when I was in high school. Well, didn't I get it straight? I know some of you out there are saying, does he really not know he's bald? Trust me, every bald guy knows he's bald. We even know we're going bald, so you don't need to tell us. The bald guys here will back me up on this. When you're losing your hair, even total strangers will come up to you and say, oh, do you realize you're losing your hair? Holy shit, you're right. Thank God you came along. We may be able to nip this in the bud. It's the only physical imperfection people feel free to comment on or even ask you questions. When did you start losing your hair? I figure they want to know if they're out of the woods yet. I usually say, oh, about 6 weeks ago. Is your dad bald? No, but Mom is. Nobody goes up to somebody with crooked teeth and says, what the hell happened to your mouth? Were your baby teeth crooked? Anybody else in your family have a mouth that looks like an M80 was touched off in it? Nobody goes up to somebody that has acne scars and goes, didn't they tell you? You weren't supposed to pick them. Nobody goes up to the one guy in the office that has bad breath and goes, Christ, Charlie, what was the special at Theo's? A shit sandwich and a side of garbage? Does the rest of your family have breath that would make a dog wince? No matter how fat somebody is, you'll never hear anybody say, were you always a lard ass? Is the rest of your family a threat to furniture? I probably come across a lot more bitter than I really am. After all, I've made a fortune off baldness. I came up with the first 100% undetectable hairpiece. I patented it, sold the rights, and I get a nice little check off every one that's sold. And believe you me, millions have been sold. You're going to kick yourself when I tell you about it, because it's so simple, yet so effective. It's a strip of material about this long. They attach it to their head here. It has 2 rows of 9-inch hairs. They select it across. Now that you think about it, you've seen my handiwork out in the All right, I didn't invent any hair pieces. I should have. I read in the paper where American men spend over $300 million a year on products to deal with their baldness. I wonder if that figure includes hairspray and Brill cream for the old part and pasters. Statistics like that fascinate me. You know, you read where, I don't know, $80 billion a year is spent on earwax removal or some such nonsense. It never seems to match my perceptions. Same thing with polls. For instance, I've yet to meet any of the 15% of the white people that think OJ didn't do it. As a matter of fact, 60% of the African Americans I know don't think he's innocent. But in the 60s, there were some polls done on sex by Masters and Johnson. That survey came up with some statistics. One of the findings was that 99% of the males masturbate at some point in their life. I like the way they worded that. Some point in their life, like it was an isolated incident. We've got a pretty big sampling here tonight. We could probably come up with our own statistics and check theirs. How about it? Can I have all the jack-off artists stand up? Not not quite the same ratio as the previous study. I know, maybe their name threw it off. You know, Masters and Johnson. Another conclusion they reached is that 48% of the females practice oral sex to completion. Survey says we really seem to be throwing the curve off here, gang. I guess you can't trust polls. I mean, have any of you ever been polled? How about you, miss? Have you ever been polled? Sure you have. You were just polled by me. When I asked you that question, I in effect polled you. You've been polled by me. Honest. Well, let's check the facts. Your life's not significantly changed. I assume you're not sore. It didn't take very long. You can ask my wife. That's almost the very definition of being polled.